before to be very instructive because they've sort of laid the groundwork. We've been talking a lot about national quality infrastructure from a more technical standpoint, and I really enjoyed the presentation from the Export Trade Promotion, Mrs. Flood just now, because even as I sat here today, I was dealing with what I suppose you would call a technical barrier to trade matter, where an exporter had 2 containers held at port of entry in the US, and another 3 were on the way, and no solution in sight, and more being packed as well. And so this is not a theoretical endeavor by any means. The last time I was here actually was the St. Lucia Manufacturers Association's inaugural Quality Awards. They'd asked me to speak. That's the last time I was in this room. So it's quite coincidental that I'm back here now speaking about national quality infrastructure. What I'm going to try to do is to put the whole discussion on national quality infrastructure into a little bit more practical terms, dealing specifically with some of the issues you've raised about how do we get into markets, how do we meet requirements. And in thinking it through, I've just recently completed a book which you'll see that deals specifically with food safety and quality systems and market access for developing countries, the second one. And so I selected from that the case of coconut water. The first time I came to St. Lucia, you were very big in the coconut industry. That has changed, not just in St. Lucia, but also throughout the Caribbean. So I wanted to share the approach of the very important role of a national quality infrastructure in a practical sense in enabling producers and manufacturers to participate in the global environment. So we've been talking about the national quality infrastructure, and it is important to note that the NQI is, while important to the development of the economy, is particularly so as we seek to trade and engage with the rest of the world, as you have indicated. Particularly if you want to grow your economy, there is only so much we can do within our borders, regardless of size. Within this context, it is very important that the impact of the national quality infrastructure on markets and enterprise be understood. It is critical, and it requires that the NQI is configured to effectively interface with and contribute positively to economic development. So it can't just be in an esoteric sense. It has to be on the road. The rubber has to hit the road. And our more developed counterparts from the UK, from Canada, and elsewhere can talk about this thing in a general sense, but I feel your pain. I was president of the Exporters Association and have been involved in exports for the last 20 years. So this is something that is a daily undertaking for us. It could be argued, therefore, that the NQI must include a robust, world-class, responsive, and effective research and development, scientific, and analytical infrastructure that is recognized domestically, regionally, and internationally. And this, as you've heard by various presenters, must include accredited analytical capabilities, but also must include a scientific infrastructure that is capable of producing high-quality, peer-reviewed research that is also applicable to its economic circumstances. We can't afford to do research just for, because it's nice to publish it. It has to help develop the economy, or I wouldn't say we'll be wasting our time, but we will not be getting the best benefit of it. In the straitened, resource-constrained circumstances in which much of the developing world finds itself, this must include effective public-private partnerships, as is the norm in the developed country. And St. Lucia and the Caribbean is no different. So this paper seeks to present a contribution to describe a significant contribution to enterprise in the Caribbean And in developing countries as a whole, where a regional national quality infrastructure operation was used, working with the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, my own company, Technological Solutions Limited, and Dr. Josie Jackson, originally of St. Vincent, was at University of the West Indies, now at Michigan State University. Some research work we did that has changed the coconut water industry globally. As I mentioned, this and a whole range of studies, case studies from the Eastern Caribbean and the rest of the Caribbean are captured in this, the second volume that looks specifically at practical aspects of market access. And so, let me give a little bit of background to the market for packaged coconut water. Now, when we started this project, I don't know, is there a pointer here? Yes. When we started this project, this is what the coconut water, bottled water industry looked like. So and this is pretty similar, it hasn't changed very much, where these are the kinds of packaging that you will see in the Caribbean. Mainly a high density polyethylene type package or Tetra Pak. Whereas in North America, most of the coconut water tends to be in cans. That's the format they are used to. Whatever the kind of packaging, however, the technology that can be applied is similar in many cases. When we look at the production information, it will be evident that as of today, Asia at 83.1% is a major producer of coconut water, with Latin America and the Caribbean in the Americas being second, but way behind. However, the growth rate in coconut water is in Oceania, where a lot of the countries in that region are significantly ramping up production as the demand grows. And growing demand in non-producing countries is driving this thrust in Oceania and also in the Caribbean and other areas. And we'll see an increase in the thrust towards the production and export of packaged coconut water. The Caribbean is no different, and so St. Lucia now has bottled water, coconut water available, as does Dominica, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and others who were mainly copra producers or producers of coconut products derived from copra. These have now shifted mainly to bottled water. Currently, Brazil remains the single largest market for packaged coconut water, although USA, Germany, and France are rapidly growing as well. However, as long as the packaging and distribution technology in traditional consuming countries continues to improve, this will provide greater opportunities for us to participate. This just shows the major producers in this $300+ million industry, with Netherlands, that doesn't grow any coconuts, being the 5th largest exporter of coconut water in the world. Also, this shows the rate of growth, and Guyana, you can't see it here, but you'll see it in the slides that I've left for you, is one of the countries, is the only country in the region that's growing at over 20% per annum, that's in coconut water. So that's today. We started this research in 2004, I think it was, and by the time we were finished in 2007, the FAO was able to use our research, as I'll show you. So for those of you who don't know, this is what coconut looks like. I know even our friends from Canada, the UK, and elsewhere know what coconut, and certainly from Brazil. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, let me describe what the process is. So essentially, the coconut is picked from the tree, it's then taken to a facility where it's cut, filled into bottles, this is traditionally in the Caribbean and in most other developing countries. And then it goes into refrigerated or frozen storage before it's distributed. This flowchart, which I know you can't see because I couldn't see much from down there because it's fuzzy, actually divides, walks us through the traditional process. Traditionally, the nuts would just be picked and allowed to be caught by somebody under the tree, quite a dangerous undertaking, or they let them drop to the ground, which most often was the case, and then they would be taken for further processing. So what we did was a series of studies, several, and I've just encapsulated them in these 4. We looked at the effect of handling on the quality and shelf life of coconut water, the causes of spoilage and shelf life reduction in bottled refrigerated coconut water, determination of key characteristics and factors that influence quality deterioration and shelf life, and the impact of industry practices on food safety, quality, and shelf life. The approach we took basically was to use a range of assessments, audits, and reviews of practices in the field and across the industries in selected countries in the Caribbean. We looked at the microbiology of the fruit, the nut. We looked at the role of enzymes, polyphenol oxidase and peroxidase in the quality and in the deterioration of the water. We looked at the role of the microorganisms in the storage of the product at different